I mean, this is a spiritual movement.
It is. I feel pretty spiritual right now. Having a lot of spirits.
That's nice, dear.
Around me and all about.
Well, good evening, May.
Good evening, Moxey. How are you?
Good. I just cracked
Excellent.
a diet A&W root beer.
Oh, jealous.
Which is basically the hardest I go. So earlier in the day, I had a bubbly, which is a LaCroix knockoff. And then coming downstairs to record this, I was like, I need the big guns. I need the hard stuff.
That sounds wonderful.
Maybe I'll write Mr. Bubbly and see if I can get more flavors brought to Canada.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Welcome everyone. If this is your first podcast, we don't just sit around talking about effervescent water for 22 minutes. We started this podcast to talk about a shared experience / discovery that May had and I had together, that the more love you put out into the world, the more love you get back exponentially into your life. And to talk to you about that weekly of sharing our journey and how you can be happier and healthier and productive by giving out more love and getting more love back into your life.
That is correct, Moxey. And, you know, there's nothing more than I would like than for everyone to feel as good as I've been feeling and you've been feeling. I really want to help people achieve this catalytic state of euphoria, this euphoralytic moment. To achieve this euphoralytic state, it's not going to cost you any money. You're not going to have to give anything of yourself other than your love and your time, of course, because it's like anything. It's a skill that you have to hone. So once you really master that, it just becomes easier and easier to put that love out into the universe and then to receive it back into yourself.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean you're without strife in your life. Because when you're like, oh, we both feel great in our lives, I was like, sure.
I know. Yeah, y'all are only getting the podcast version. But I find that my life is enriched by having this idea of, you know, being focused on having this euphoralytic moment. And if I can't achieve it for myself, then giving the love out and maybe just helping someone else who's out there ready to receive that feeling.
Yeah, I'm 300% down, especially like giving it out even when you can't feel it yourself.
Yes. And I think that's almost more important when you can't feel it yourself, to kind of give it out more.
Just try to give it out more. And lately I've been I can't swear because Lil Rolly listens, but lately, my friend sent me a Snapchat of
right. Aww.
him wanting his mom to turn the podcast back on in the car, and I just thought it's the cutest thing ever. So we'll have to. I'll bleep her. I'll try to bleep our swears. Sorry, Stacey.
Okay. I don't think we're too bad.
I don't think we're too bad. I drop a lot of F-bombs in life, but
I do too.
I don't think I do too bad on here. But haven't been feeling I've been depressed, and then I feel like I'm finally getting over the depression, and then this week it kind of started imploding, feeling like, in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which you probably don't know what it is, May, but it's like,
I did a project on it in college.
My apologies.
PowerPoint.
Well, you could have just played along so I could explain it to you.
Oh,
so
sorry.
The audience doesn't feel stupid.
Okay. Moxey, what is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
So I'm not going to go in depth, but it's basically like you can't really focus on your higher level needs until your base level needs are met. Like, shelter, not thinking you're going to die by a tiger attack in the next 7 minutes, starvation, that sort of thing. So I guess I shouldn't say like my life isn't totally catastrophic, because I definitely have that like base level generally covered. And then probably another step up the hierarchy. And then just lately, because I've been kind of getting out of my depressed state, which I know the root of, it's exposed this other like giant wound in my brain that I'm like, I'm still not okay, and having to work on that.
That, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Totally.
But had a little mental breakdown, which you unfortunately had to semi-witness, but I've had more epiphanies since then that I'll spare you the details. But I just decided, I'm like, nope. I'm going to move forward with this positively. I'm still going to give love out into the world. And then also in the meantime, I took some time yesterday morning to just like have an honest conversation in my head with myself. Like, okay, what is giving me these bad feelings?
Right.
Why do I think they're happening, and what can I do to fix it so I'm not just dwelling on this bad stuff and living in these aspects of my thought process or personality or whatever you want to call them. And I wrote some of them in my phone just quickly and just put an alarm in my phone that every day I'm going to try to work on them for like 15 to 20 minutes.
That is awesome. That's excellent. That's really good. Because it's very, very difficult to kind of look within and say, hey, this is not working. What can I do to fix it?
And I have always been the like solutions focused person. And I'm really good at that. And I guess I'll say in like the physical realm, like getting things done, making things happen in my job, learning a new skill, doing all of those things, and having the vulnerability to sit down and like have that internally is a real struggle for me. And I think it is for most people.
Yeah, I think that's a really key word is vulnerability.
Yeah. And allowing yourself to acknowledge your flaw, your weakness, your sadness, whatever it is.
And I know also, like, you pride yourself very much on being self-sufficient, like having it together.
Yeah.
You know,
big, so like way too much. I completely acknowledge like it's overkill, right? But, and then that's like, I mean, this can completely turn into a therapy session, but I'll stop after this statement that in case other people associate with this, like I get intrinsic value by others valuing me or me being an assistant to other people, which has massive positive aspects in my life. But
until it doesn't.
I really derive value from being wanted.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the same thing.
I think that's a very human thing. It is a very vulnerable thing to bring that up again, but it's because the one thing that you can't control is other people's opinions of you, other people's, you know, how much they're going to need you, the degree to which they're going to listen, da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, yeah. Huh. So anyway,
very interesting.
We won't descend into all my flaws today, but
I don't even think it's a flaw really because
I have to accept
but you
that
can
one's
acknowledge
a flaw.
it.
Yeah,
you're self-aware.
Absolutely. But I have to acknowledge like there's root to why I do that. That isn't healthy, and maybe I need to uncover that. But
that's fair.
The reason I brought this up is because like I'm not this type of person, and I know a lot of people aren't this type. But I just every day I'm gonna work on it. I set a deadline of like the 1st of May to at least examine why I'm doing this. Ordered a couple books from the library to have some structured expert readings that I could find. And, you know, just taking that time and it being sort of a self-love to, for lack of a better word, like try to fix the things you don't like about yourself.
Yeah.
I don't like how I made myself feel in a situation.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, it's not even necessarily finding something and fixing it. It's just finding something and, like, honing it.
Well, no, honestly, I think I need to fix it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, big time. Like that's why I think it's this like massive thing that I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then I'm like, no, at least take a baby step towards changing why you feel that way and what your actions and choices are in those situations. Even though literally no one else got hurt. Like it was all internal to me. So it's not like I wasn't giving love out because I was, approaching things with honest and love. But then I was like, no, why am I essentially like self-sacrificing?
Yeah. Why are you hurting yourself in order to make somebody else feel good? Yeah. And it's good to recognize, well, this didn't necessarily hurt anybody, but you don't have to make a change in your life at rock bottom. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to let things get really bad. Like, actually, a mutual friend of ours, but it was kind of a scandal at the time. She broke up with her boyfriend who she'd been with for, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. It's not me, in case you
that's a similar anyway.
I know a friend. Anyway. But anyway, she broke up with this guy, and it was on her end it was amicable, and he felt that he was just like unceremoniously dumped. But she was talking to me about it, and she's like, yeah, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't good. Yeah. She's like, it was just like a thing. We just sat around and whatever. She's like, it was just comfortable, but in a bad way. And I always and she would say, she actually said, she's like, I didn't want it to get to a point where it was like just waiting for a blowout to happen so that I could break up. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Things don't have to be rock bottom, and I feel like, I mean, this is definitely not the rock bottomest I've ever been in my life. But even when I was like having a really rough month in January, February, really rough 6 months, like getting out of it, I was just like, so now this isn't even rock bottom. Definitely not. But just the discouragement of like, oh, I have to work on this now. And I mean, that's coming from a place of privilege where I have insight into this, even to be like, oh, this is leading myself down a mental path I don't want to be on. Let's work on it so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, fortunately, also, you're in a position where you can do something about it yourself for yourself.
Yeah, even really, 3 months ago, I was, working so much in that I wouldn't have had the ability to take the time to even do this or even think about taking the time to do this. So it is nice now. It's like, no, I need to take 20 minutes. I can find 20 minutes in my day, even though it made me stay up half the night last night because my mind was like processing everything I learned in the hour I spent last night. But
yeah. Well, what if you did it in the morning? Would that be more helpful or no?
I don't have time in my mornings because I get up early already to run because I also recognize that I need to do that running to keep myself physically and mentally on a path. So that's like another Band-Aid. So I can't take off that Band-Aid off that gaping wound of not being able to sleep because of anxiety. That running helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I did it earlier in the evening. Like lesson learned, it can't be the last thing I do before I go to bed.
Yeah, because then your mind's just kind of
running,
turning. So
that's a lesson for everyone. Time your work too, that it's not going to completely derail whatever you need to do that day or night. But
sleep is very important. Don't forego sleep to do other things, if possible.
If possible.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but
I feel like we need to talk about something happier.
So I'll have to chat with you about it because I'm interested to learn about the resources. Just for my own research.
I'll give you some reviews once I read a few of them. I am partially cheap, partially low funds to do this.
Thrifty and resourceful.
And there's only one book that I couldn't find anywhere. I even looked in our my province has like library system for university students. I'm like, okay, I know a few university students, if they have it because it's more of an academic book, because it turns out everything about my problem involves Jesus, which I'm not into at all. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll have to look at academic resources like Jesus or God or
and
believing
Christmas
in
just passed.
So I even looked there because I thought I could ask one of them to loan them and pledge I'm not going to be late. Anyway, I ended up having to buy it, but it was like $10.
This is a treat today.
I feel like we need like a theme for Crystal Talk.
Ding-a-ling, ding, 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 crystals. Crystals.
Let me work on this. I'll
Talking crystals.
Okay.
Woo! Today, I thought that I would speak about Larimar.
Oh.
This is one that it kind of escaped me, but I actually have a Larimar bracelet.
Oh.
And that's what I was kind of thinking of. It reminded me of it. Larimar is this beautiful, very pale aqua-colored stone. And it is only available in the Dominican Republic.
Oh,
that is the only place.
I know about this. Yes. Okay.
That is like the one place in the entire world that you can get it. So obviously it's like a big souvenir when you're there. It's quite, I mean, in terms of like, it would be more rare than a diamond for sure. But I don't know. It's not. It's given out as like souvenirs and it's quite affordable. And they say that it has the tranquil energy of the sea and the sky. So it's that beautiful blue green color. And it is also said, and maybe you'll agree, Moxey, that it contains the wisdom of Atlantis.
No, I do not agree.
It's very interesting. It's formed in volcanoes and it comes out in like boulders, like lava boulders, and you crack them open and then there's like this brilliant blue inside. So it's really neat. So it's a stone that's associated with serenity. It's supposedly good for promoting relaxation, and it's said to be especially helpful for new mothers. Yeah. So I don't know if that's arbitrary or or if there's some kind of actual calming vibe to it. It's also said to be a good stone, once again, for singers, as it's associated with the health of the throat and of your cartilage. So there you go. That's Larimar. Put a little piece in your pocket and feel gentle, soothing
I'm
waves.
Channeling a Larimar in my throat right now to say that it's definitely some placebo-ass action to say a crystal's helping with your cartilage.
I mean, look at the Atlantans.
Who? You mean
the people from the lost
you mean
city
the
of
fictional
Atlantis? Yeah, they're not here anymore, so I don't know how well it helped their cartilage. Wonderful.
Well,
that's all I have.
That's all I have too. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And yeah, try to set yourself some goals, even if you're not in total mental despair like some of us. Maybe it's a good time, like May says, you don't have to be on rock bottom to just kind of pick away at things that you think need to be worked on in your heart. And take, 15 minutes a day, set an alarm on your phone to read or write or just think about in silence those things and how they can improve in your life to make your love more big, I don't know, and make you more happy.
That was good. I don't really have anything to expand on that.
Well, we will see you all next week. and have a lovely week. And if you want to interact with us, please send us what your goals are. We won't share them if you don't want to, but you can follow us on Instagram at euphoralytic, EUPHORALYTIC. And we can chat with you or just give us a little inspiration about what you're working on this week. And we can all share how we're just all working hard together, not
That's
at
right.
rock
We'd love to hear
bottom.
from you. We really would.
Legitimately. We had somebody message us delightful crystals this week, and it was just
Oh, yes. I saw that today. I wrote back as well. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
I meant every word.
All right, have a lovely week, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.